Hi again, this is Suzanne Etkin with part two of Habits That Help for Your Community. Part two, we're going to talk all about leaves and trees in our community. Boy, we really love trees, but there can be a couple of things that can be problematic in terms of habits that happen in our community. One is the way that our existing landscape trees are mulched. Sometimes they're mulched by community members, sometimes by landscape contractors, but we commonly see what we call volcano mulching, where the mulch is piled up against the trunk of the tree, and this can actually kill trees over a couple of years for a couple of reasons. First, that mulch piles up and traps moisture, creates homes for insects and even rodents up against the edge of the trunk. And all of those things can damage the bark and allow diseases to creep into the tree. So you can end up having some pretty big problems with your tree from the moisture of that mulch up against the trunk of the tree. The other thing is that that mulch actually smothers the roots of the trees, and sometimes the trees will grow their roots up into the mulch in an attempt to get a little bit of air. And in the summertime, when it's hot, that mulch really heats up and it can dry out the roots and cause a lot of stress on the trees in the summertime. If trees are mulched, and not all trees need to be mulched, quite frankly, a lot of our trees start out being mulched as young trees to keep the lawnmowers away from the trunks, but once they get larger, they really don't need to be mulched. But if they are mulched, 2 to 3 inches of shredded hardwood mulch is good, but it should not be up against the base of the tree. So one habit that you can get your community doing in your community is to look for mulch volcanoes and correct the mulching of the trees in their community. When we do have lots of really nice leaves in the community, or trees in the community, we often have leaves also, and leaves can be a pain in the drain. Leaves are also a really important part of the ecosystem, and so wherever we can, we want to let leaves lie where they fall. But if leaves are over top of hard surfaces, or if leaves in our neighborhood are blowing in storm drains, this can cause a lot of water pollution. Um, Leaves can clog up storm drains, or if when large amounts of leaves exit the storm drains into our streams, they can use up a lot of oxygen when they decay. So it's really important to keep leaves off of hard surfaces and out of storm drains. But other than that, what do we want people to do with their leaves? Really, as I said, if you can, leave leaves where they lie. Leaves are an important nutrient source for our trees and other um, plants. They also host insect larvae. They're really an important part of the lifestyle of some little critters we love, like fireflies and other beneficial insects. So if we can, we want to leave leaves where they are. Um, if we can't, if we have to remove them, you can shred them or compost them, use them as mulch in your flower beds. You can also just run your mower over the leaves that fall on your grass, and this helps them to break down, and it creates your own special fertilizer to keep some nutrients in place. And then the last thing is, we really don't want people to pick up all the leaves from their yard and dump them in the woods for a couple of reasons. First is that if we keep piling leaves in the woods, it can smother out understory um, plants. If we dump leaves in ravines or where water is naturally flowing, it can actually create a little nutrient tea and leach nutrients into the waterway. So leave leaves where they lie if you can. We do have a number of different resources on what to do with leaves on our behavior change toolbox at aawsa.org. So I encourage you to check those out.